Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11.
And welcome in to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes here on CW11 as we get set for 200 laps around the 5/8 mile of Evergreen Speedway. But first, we got a couple other cars in action, including the mini stocks and legends. But first, let me introduce a new appearance to the CW11 set, Jeremy Anders.
Well, thank you for having me, Kyler. I'm excited to be here and call this amazing race. This year's Summer Showdown was quite the one to watch.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But first, we got the Northwest Mini Stock Tour, their first time here at Evergreen Speedway in 2021. And Jeremy, you've seen them race a few times this year. Tell me about the series and how awesome it is to have all these different drivers come to Evergreen Speedway.
Well, you have some of the best in four-cylinder racing across the Northwest. Then you combine them with some of the local favorites here at Evergreen Speedway. Makes for some great racing action, very fast race cars, and they'll keep you on the edge of your seat the whole entire time. And a good field of cars from top to bottom.
Yeah, last week we saw a few of them mix in with our BECU mini stocks, and we saw Xander Peters and Dylan Bewald get into it a little bit, but hopefully none of that drama will carry over this week as we're going to get to know the starting lineup for the Northwest Mini Stock Tour 40-lap main event. On the front row, we got the 88 of Devin Matthews, and to his outside, the 77A of Terry Armstrong Jr.
Then the inside the second row, Xander Peters in the 69 car, and Josh McMillan, sponsored by Christmas in the 8 car.
Row number 3 is made up of the 23 Travis Barnes. It is outside the 15 of Freddie Vigil.
A familiar face, the 07 of Zach Bristol on the inside of row 4. On the outside of him, the 80 car of Travis Allen.
Starting P9 and P10, we got the 22A of Rick Ackerman Jr., and to his outside, the 00H of Carson Heller.
The 00 of Brad Rhodes on the inside of row number 6, and then Tanner Dates on the outside of him.
Then we have the 77 of Scott Murphy, and to his outside, the 96 of Casey Garber.
A familiar face in the front, the 18 car Lane Sunholm, sponsored by Foss Motorsports, and the 4H of John Haygood.
The 7 of Cassidy Sunholm, sponsored by J2 Racing and John Haynes, and to her outside, the 88R Ryan McLeod.
Then the 3D of Rick Karakis and the 31 of Craig Pathfinder.
And at the end of the field, we got the 23X of Ellie Musgrave, sponsored by Tracy and Annette Gregg, and the 2 of Reggie Gill, sponsored by Kraft Mayo. And that is a full field of 4-cylinder race cars around this 3/8 mile. You see all the super late model teams in the infield getting ready for their 200 laps later on. As it was a hot day, and we got a slick track for these mini stocks to work with.
Yeah, these cars are boosted up a lot of horsepower for these little cars here, and you know the familiar 4-cylinder Mustang body you're going to see out there, but a couple interesting combinations. You can see a Dodge Neon in the field and a great combination of cars, but these cars really work well on the 3/8 mile.
Yeah, and it's always fun with these mini stocks. So you got some front wheel, we got some rear wheel drive cars, so it's a little bit different driving style for some, and it's a big enough track for them to really work around the high line or the low line, or sometimes 3 or 4 wide.
Yeah, they don't have the boost power like a late model does on the start of the race. It takes about 1 or 2 laps to get the momentum of these cars going, but once they get going, they can really float around the corners in the 3/8 mile.
As we get set, you saw a Speedway Chevrolet pace car pull into the infield. 40 laps for the Northwest Mini Stock Tour. It's Devin Matthews and Terry Armstrong Jr. leading them to green, and the green flag is out from John Peterson as they roar down into turn number 1.
Going into turn number 1, side by side all the way through. You see Carson Heller goes way up the track in the 00 car there, but taking the lead down the backstretch, Terry Armstrong Jr. at 77 car.
I think this is Carson Heller's maybe second or first start in 2021 season. It's a great to have him back, but Terry Armstrong Jr. way out in front as we got the 8 car brushing the wall a little bit. So we're going to go 3 wide, and there's some contact there midfield.
4 wide in the corner there. You see the 80 of Travis Allen, the 07 of Zach Bristol, all tied up there, and I don't think they're coming apart.
No, they're trying to get apart as they go down the back straightaway. They're going to make almost an entire lap. They're going to try to go for a full lap here around, and they're slowing down. That left front tire of Bristol is down as they're going to come to a stop at the entrance at turn number 3. I mean, they went pretty far after they made contact. That was impressive.
Yeah, Zach Bristol pulls himself apart from there, and looks like they're going to continue to go on. Zach Bristol does some left front damage on that car. Going to have to go in and get it changed out.
Yeah, I don't think he liked that tire very much. Just going to leave it there at the entrance to turn number 3. Go in and get a new wheel on that. It looks like the 80 just got really loose into the corner. I don't know if that was anything to do with Josh McMillan getting to the outside wall, but they got locked together pretty good, and they stayed together all the way down.
Yeah, and cutting the tire down there, and doesn't look like too much damage on the 80 car of Allen, but 4 wide is not the thing you want to be seeing going into turn 1 at Evergreen Speedway. Yeah,
with the 40-lap race, I don't think these drivers are wasting any time to get going, so hopefully we'll see both drivers continue on. You saw the 80 pull away right there. Hopefully Bristol will be able to get a new shoe on that left front and be able to get back out and rejoin the field, as that was an unfortunate start to the mini stock race. We got a lap in at least.
Looks like Tanner Dates, he really thought he was completely clear, though. He got a little clipped on the right rear there, so hopefully he can get back out there, and he doesn't have any damage on his car.
Yeah, it was great driving by the rest of the field. You saw the 23 of Helly Musgrave and Reggie Gill, who started in the back of the pack. They were able to slow up and not tag anyone in front of them and really avoid any more contact, or really avoid a bigger incident there early on in this mini stock race.
And this race is always a big one for the Northwest Mini Stock Tour because it shares the stage with Summer Showdown. So everybody really wants to win this one here. You know, it's the big stage. All the big teams are right there, and they're not really being very patient early on.
Yeah, not at all. So we're going to skip ahead a couple laps. 37 laps to go. It is Terry Armstrong Jr. on the front row. Xander Peters, his outside. Devin Matthews in the 88. He's hanging in there inside of row number 2. So we still got a lot of great cars. I believe Casey Garber right now is the points leader coming into the night. So we'll have to keep an eye on that 96 machine. The Jason Majors owned 96 he's still quite a few rows back, but still got plenty of time to work his way forward.
Green flag is out once again in this one, and Xander Peters a lot better start this time through than the first start there, as they're side by side once again through turns 1 and 2 as they go down the backstretch.
Notable absence from the series in this race, Thomas Stanford. He won at Wenatchee earlier in the year in that 18 car that is now driven by Lane Sunholm, so I have to keep an eye on that car coming forward. But Thomas Stanford has been a tear in the series, but he's not here today.
So you see Tanner Dates now going to move that 3rd position as he tries to go the back bumper of Xander Peters. And Xander Peters using that horsepower, that 69 car down the backstretch, going into the corners, and good battle. He looks to the inside of Terry Armstrong coming off of turn number 4.
Yeah, Xander Peters got a great run going on the back straight and was able to get all the way to the inside of the leaders. There was some contact a little bit farther back in the pack as Xander's was going side by side with Armstrong down the back straight as they stay side by side going down in turn number 3.
You'll see the leaders side by side there through 3 and 4, and great battles as there's just action all over the track right now with these drivers. And like we said, very competitive field to watch racing, and Xander Peters taking that lead right now. Tanner Dates can stick his nose inside of Armstrong there off of turn number 2.
Yeah, we will a 3-car breakaway from this big pack going down into turn number 3. We're going to go 3 wide in the corner and make it work. Carson Heller getting held up a little bit of contact with 00, and they keep it out of the wall, but caution flag will come out. That was almost disaster right there.
00 of Brad Rose in the 77 as Scott Murphy making contact that time off of turn number 3 there. You see him go in the corner here. Rhodes gets a little low there, washed up. Comes down, contact between the two, and Rhodes definitely saves it there. As you see the 15 car, Freddie Vigil, he almost goes in the wall as well.
Yeah, that was really close to being really bad, as we had Lane Sunholm right there, Casey Garber, a couple of the fast guys on the weekend, as they were all able to avoid disaster right there. That was really close to being really bad.
And you saw the 3D of Rick Caracas slow down in the front stretch. I think that's why they're all bunched up there back in the field, and that's what caused the caution to come out there.
So we'll get them lined back up. 34 laps still to go in the Northwest Mini Stock Tour main event. Xander Peters elects the outside line over Terry Armstrong. So we'll see if he's able to carry any momentum around as they come off of turn number 4. Green flag is back out in the air.
34 to go on this one, and once again, side by side, you're seeing Lane Sunholm slowly creep up through the field now, up in the 9th position there as they go down the backstretch. Still side by side for your leaders in 3 and 4.
Yeah, Lane Sunholm knows this is a long race, but I don't think he's going to be very patient trying to get towards the lead. He wants to get out of that mess. Xander Peters is ahead of the line over Terry Armstrong Jr. for the lead, but the 77A is not going away easy.
Yeah, Xander Peters right there, about a tire length lead over Armstrong there. You see the battle back there with Matthews and Tanner Dates now, as Matthews trying to move out that 88 car on the outside of Dates for the 3rd position, as Xander Peters now going to start walking away a little bit on Terry Armstrong Jr.
Yeah, Rick Ackerman Jr. is just behind that battle for 3rd. He's in 5th. He came out, I believe this is his 3rd time out at Evergreen Speedway this year. He came out early in the year, was here last week on the show as well, so he's definitely turning some extra laps and has really shown he's moving to the 4th spot now.
And look who's creeping up on the outside back there. That's the 96 car of Casey Garber. As you look at your leaders right now, Xander Peters now about a 6 car length lead over Terry Armstrong Jr. Really commanding. You see there Casey Garber in that 96 car going to look to the inside of Matthews down the backstretch here, and Casey Garber, he's coming on strong. Oh, we got a car around in turn number 1.
Yeah, and that is the 80 of Travis Allen. So his 2nd incident of the day, as we saw him tied up with Zach Bristol to bring out the first caution on lap number 1. So we're going to bring it back up to the booth, catch our breath for a little bit, let these guys get reset. And Jeremy, what are your thoughts so far on the Northwest Mini Stock Tour main event?
So far, not a lot of patience early on in this one. You would hope them a little bit more patience, but great racing so far. And you're seeing Xander Peters and Terry Armstrong really control this, but keeping your eye on Casey Garber and Lane Sunholm coming to the field. Both those drivers very strong.
Yeah, these cautions are really beneficial for those 2 drivers because it bunches the field back up right in front of them. They can pick off a lot more cars on a restart than they can when it goes green flag for a long amount of time. So we're going to single file the cars up, hopefully be able to get some more laps in, as we have 31 laps still to go, so still a lot more than what we're used to for the mini stocks here at Evergreen Speedway.
You're seeing Terry Armstrong Jr. try to get a big run on the initial start here to the outside of Peters there, and Peters comes up, says, hey, you can try that outside lane, but I'm going to hold you off there. And that gives Tanner Dates the inside opportunity on that 4 car, so good battle down the backstretch.
Yeah, these mini stocks are usually able to hold that outside line fairly well, better than other classes because they don't have so much horsepower, so they can kind of keep the motors wound up. As there goes Terry Armstrong Jr. to the inside, give a little love tap to Xander Peters in the middle of 3 and 4, and Xander's going to run him down a little bit as we see the 18 Lane Sunholm moving its way forward, but the battle is still up front for the lead.
Good battle between Peters and Armstrong with that battle back there between Sunholm. Oh, contact. Our leaders make contact there. And around goes Peters, and right to the side door goes Terry Armstrong Jr. So how about that? They've been battling early on, and just a little too much contact going into turn number 3.
Yeah, when they're nosed up like that, I don't think they're going to be talking about any dinner plans or anything like that. That's some tough luck there. It looks like Xander Peters running down a little bit on Armstrong, and then Armstrong not quite hugging the bottom, and 2 cars going over the same real estate.
Yep. Armstrong didn't have that low line there. They both tried to take that about 1/3 of the way up there. And, ooh, that's an interesting contact between those 2 drivers.
Yeah, and we're going to jump on board with Lane Sunholm and take a look. He's riding side by side with Casey Garber, and all of a sudden, a car goes around in front of them, and great job avoiding that. We'll be back with more racing here on CW11 Home Track Heroes.